So we had completed till verse 19 of chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita. So a small recap, we were discussing about concept called soul. And then we were talking about how the soul is a part of a super soul. So that means there are no two things. So the soul, which is called an individual soul, or what we call it as a Jeev Atma, is part of the Paramatma, and they are not separate. Just imagine an entire thing having a small entity within. So it's like your own body having its own blood cells, it's roaming around in your body, something like that. I can't call that blood cell by a different name, but if I have to identify it, I'll have to call it by some name. This is what you have to understand. So the separation is there, but the separation is not there also. And when that happens, that particular entity is born or dies. I want you to think about it. If anything is born inside your body, let us say there are different cells which are born every minute, and then they die. Do you die? No, you are still alive. So basically what happens is it's a recycling of the cells. All that is there is removed, whatever that is not wanted is removed out, and what is required is reused once again. So the ideation should be that the soul is a part of the super soul. It doesn't go out of existence, it is always there. What happens to it is the container in which it is there. The container is the body. The containers just keep on changing. Every time one container comes, that goes away, then another container comes, that goes away, third container comes, that goes away, and the containers keep on changing. So what happens to the human being is the human being thinks he is a container, which is a mistaken concept. You are not independent. You are the soul, which is a part of the super soul, or what we call as the Paramatma. This is the theme which you should remember constantly. So if the container comes and goes away, that means the container is there at the moment. That means your body exists just now, and after some time your body dies, doesn't mean that you are gone anywhere. You are only getting recycled into a new container, which is a new body. Then that body goes away, then another body comes, and then another body comes, and then another. It is called rebirth. Not necessary that you will have a human body. It can be any body, because the soul is there in literally every body and everybody also. Correct? So both these cases are true. And this is what we had arrived at last time. So now we will continue from the next verse onwards. We are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse 20. The soul is never born, nor does it ever die, nor does it become on being born, for it is unborn, eternal, everlasting, primeval. Even though the body is slain, the soul is not. This is something which we have to accept it as a reality. See, when we say the soul is everywhere, we are talking about the super soul, or what we call as a Paramatma. He is everywhere. If Paramatma dies, you are finished, isn't it? You cannot exist if the Paramatma cannot exist. And the soul, which is the individual soul, Jeev Atma, you are that Jiva within that. And if you are there and that exists for a certain moment in time, it is going to be there only for that moment. Alright? So let us look at it from a point of, let us see the sea. The entire sea is there. When you look at the sea or the ocean, what happens is, in the ocean, ice is formed. Ice has a shape. Sea doesn't have a shape. Sea takes the shape of the container. The container is the earth, which whatever shape that is there, it is going to take the shape of the container. Now, when the sea converts itself into ice blocks, right? Then the ice blocks has a life for a certain amount of time, and after that it melts within the sea. Can you tell me where it has gone? We cannot say where it has gone. And that is the reason why there is no way of understanding why this happens. Alright? The answer to all this is, we got to have this concept in our mind that neither is anybody born nor anybody dies. It's only that we take a new container. It's like today, if I take the bottle of water, the water gets recycled, can come in another bottle, and that bottle can have a different name. I hope you get it clear. So in that ideation, we should always remember that the bottles can get recycled into another bottle. So the plastic or the glass that is there can get recycled, but not the soul. The what is there inside water, WATER or H2O, will remain H2O only. It is not getting recycled into something different. It is going to be back to water to water to water. All right. So this is how we have to see. So the concept that the soul is born is wrong. We just take a new body. I will give you by example. As a human being, when you were born, you were called the son or the daughter. All right. So there is a son or the daughter. Later on, as you grow up, you become, a husband or a wife, whichever. If you are a man, you become a husband, and if you are a wife, if you are a woman, you become a wife. Now, after that, you become what? Father, because you are given birth to children. So you become a father, and then you become a grandfather. You understand? You have different names coming to you. The one person will have so many names. So many designations also. So somewhere you are the uncle, somewhere you are the aunt, somewhere you are this, somewhere you are that. At different places, the same person is going by a different identification. So if you are an Indian, you are called an Indian. You are staying in India, so you are an Indian. Suppose you are staying in America, you will be called an American. So I hope you get that concept clear. So, but are you not the same person? So the soul is exactly like this. The soul remains there, except that it takes up new forms. Another example would be that there is an actor. Now this actor or actress takes up a role in a film. Now when she takes up a role in the film, is she now let us say we will call her by name. Her name is Madhuri. Okay. If Madhuri is the name of the heroine, the lady, when she does a role of say something, some name in some film, does she become that? No. It is just a role that she is doing. Likewise, in different films, she is going to do different roles. In some films, she might be the daughter. In some films, she might be the villain. In some films, she might be the heroine. In some films, she can become a grandmother, depending on the role she is taking. But is it real? It's a film. She's just enacting a role. So human beings, when they take a body, they are enacting a role. So you will be enacting a role in your body as whatever the role demands. And you take up an identity of the person. Now, if you are born in a female body, you will be called a female, isn't it? Likewise, if you are born in a certain body, you will be called that. Now, if you are born in an ant's body, you are going to be called that particular thing. This idea that we are born again and again is unique simply because there is something which is left behind. A karma is left behind. And there is no way in which you can nullify a karma. Think about it like this. Now a person takes a gun and shoots somebody. And this person may be caught or may not be caught. That is not the concept. Now that person has been shot. That person, what is he going to do? He is dead. The body is dead. Then the soul has to take another body. But in this world, always remember this one concept is to be clarified. Everything has to be equalized. If I take 100 rupees from you, if I take $100 from you, I have to return the $100 back to you. This is the way of the world. If I have to give something and you have to take something, you will take it. That is why everybody has. Now the concept of karma is very difficult to understand. When we come to chapter 4 and 5, we will understand the concept of karma. Just now at this moment in time, you are just starting off. This is just the beginning. You can't expect to be taught something. You are in first standard or kindergarten. You can't be taught complex theories at this given moment in time. So we have to first learn. Every human being has to first learn. After they learn from a master, then only they can understand all this. See, just by hearting some kind of a book and then trying to, puke it out, saying that, okay, I know this thing, doesn't mean anything. Simply because when you are that individual person, whoever you are, whether you are a woman or a man or a child or whatever, you are enacting a role. And that role has to be enacted perfectly. See, these are difficult concepts and we have to slowly and steadily move towards it. So, the soul is unborn. It is eternal. It is everlasting and it is primeval. What does this mean? Primeval means ancient and going on and on. It is always there. The reason why the soul is permanently over there, it doesn't get destroyed, by the way. Let me give to you. Individual soul is a part of the super soul. Imagine if the individual soul gets destroyed, don't you think the super soul will get destroyed? And how can God not exist? So the idea that the super soul always is there. So accept it that this is something which we have to know it exists. All right. Second thing which we need to know, so it is primeval, it is constant, it is primeval, everlasting. You cannot even remove it out of the system. All right. Can you lessen the noise over there, please? There's a disturbance. Okay. 1 second, can you just hold on? There is some disturbance somewhere. I'll just verify it. Someone's audio was on. Anyway, that is a problem. All right. So this particular soul always exists. All right. Doesn't die. So it is primeval. Second thing which we have to know, it is unborn. Now, the moment this word comes unborn, you are always saying, I am born on this date. Are you not saying these words? So, are you contradicting it or no? So, this idea that you are born is wrong. I want you to think about it like this. When you were born through your mother's body, you were born as a human being. And when you were born as a human being, you had a body. Now this particular body that you had is a woman's body. It's a body. You have assumed it. But at the end of your life, you are going to leave the body. Is that correct or no? When you leave the body, this body of yours just now has relatives. Who are the relatives? You have a mother, father, brother, whoever. And then you have a husband, you have children. If you are unborn, how is it that you are having a mother, father, brother, sister, husband, this one, that one? How do you have that? It is contrary to what is written over here. And please understand, the scriptures are true. So the idea that you are born is something that you need to take it out of your mind. And if you are having a relative in this body called a mother and a father, and if you are unborn, how is it that you have this mother and father? This is a big question you got to ask yourself. That means, are these mother and father real, or are they doing some enactment? Like you are enacting this role of a woman, and those people also enacting a role. And this is a very difficult concept to understand, and that is the reason why, please, you have to understand this whole thing. So you are unborn. Even if you have given birth to children, your children are also unborn. They have not taken birth the way you look at it. Because as a soul, nobody can be born and nobody can die. You have just taken up one residence. Now, residence is a concept which you will know. Now, when you were a kid, you were staying in one house. Then you shifted to another house. Maybe you got married, you shifted to the third house. After marriage, you went into maybe a rented apartment. And from there, you went into another apartment. And then maybe you bought a house. How many houses have you changed? Many. So every house has its own architecture and own pluses and minuses. The next house may not have that, correct? Now in this, who has not changed? You are the same person, but the houses have changed. So now think like this. The body is a house. The body is a container. The body is something in which you are ensconced. You are inside that place. You have just taken up that house. After you move houses, that means after this body dies, then you have to move houses. It's exactly the same. You have seen so many things happening in this world. In the Middle East and all, the houses get bombed out, right? You have seen bombs falling on the houses, the house gets destroyed. And where do these people go? They go somewhere and they stay somewhere else. And then they have to build another house. Isn't that how it is going? So please remember this. You are not a person who is the house. The house is different. The idea that your body is you is wrong. And this is what Shri Krishna is telling Arjuna. And always remember this. Even though this body is slain, the soul is not. This is a very important line in this. And we have to abide by this line. And we should constantly remember this. Next verse 21. Arjuna, the man who knows the soul to be imperishable, eternal, free from birth and decay, how and whom will he be the cause to be killed? How and whom will he kill? A very beautiful question. Think like that. If you now understand that you are not the body, you have just taken up this residence. The residence exists. That means this body exists only for a certain amount of time. Okay? And then it goes away. Then you take up another residence. And then that goes away and then you take up another residence. So every time when you are reborn, again and again and again and again, this rebirth will give you new bodies. If this rebirth is going to give you new bodies, then you have to know that you are not the body. Body is just a superficial thing. But are we possessed about the body? Yes. I am so much possessed about my possessions, isn't it? This is my house. Do we say this or no? This is my house. These are my children. This is my husband. These are my parents. We take so much pride in saying these things. But in the next life, you may be the daughter of this same child that you are having, who might be your father. How is that then? Does that complicate issues to you or no? Your own father, I'm going to make a very dangerous statement over here. Your own father or your mother can become your wife. Oh my God, how is that possible? And you're going to get a shock out of it. How does that work? It doesn't, common sense will tell you it doesn't gel with you. You can't taste it also. You don't like it also. Right? This is, what are you saying? You are possessed of your body. And that is why you think your possessions are so dear to you. This is where the problem lies. Okay? Every time when you take a birth, you are getting shuffled here and there. Like, you have teams. Now every team, sometimes you are with A team, sometimes you are with B team, sometimes you are with C team. Sometimes you are fighting A to B. Now you are in B. So what is going to be? Your enemy is A now. Got the point or no? So the same person can be your friend, the same person can be your enemy. Think about it. Recently there was a movie, okay? The Shetty's film, alright? Now in that film he has shown Ravana and Rama and all those kind of things. I want you to think about it. Ravana is a villain in the film, right? If Ravana is the villain in the film, do you know his background? You have to understand there are two guys. Two people are there in the story. One is Ravana and one is Kumbhakarna. Now they were born prior to that as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashyap also. And prior to born as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashyap, they were also the people who were guarding the gates of Shri Krishna's palace. So were they for him or against him there? They were his people. They were looking after the gates. Unfortunately, they got cursed by some, 4 people, and they were to be born as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashyap. So then, next life they were born as, I'm sure you know the stories very well. Shishupal, okay, and all that. And then later on as Ravana, okay. We don't have to get into all that. It is the same person. What happens in the end when Ravana dies? He goes into the body of Sri Ram only, no? So he's going back to the same place where he came from. Except that for the story, some new role he took. First time he took the role of maybe Hiranyakashyap. Second time he took the role of Shishupal. Second time he took the role of Ravana maybe. And the third time he took the role of Shishupal. What is the big deal in that? He is an actor who is enacting a role. I hope this concept gets clear in your mind. It is the same person. You can be one person, you can be another person, or you can be another person. Don't get carried away by this. So your idea should be, have this fixed in your mind that you are imperishable as a soul, you are eternal, and there is no birth and there is no death. Then how can anybody kill you? And how can you kill somebody? You are only destroying that container. Alright? Relationships also can get destroyed. Don't you know that? Suppose you go through a divorce. The same husband becomes your ex-husband. Agreed? Huh? And nowadays you have seen in the news there are so many children. Now there is a person called Elon Musk. Now his son or somebody has said, or his daughter, I don't know, they have said, I don't want him to be called as my father. There is that thing which is the woke thing going on all over the world. The concept that I am a man and I am a woman, I was born and I was dead, I did this and I did that, I am a daughter, I am a son, I am this, all these are just names. They make no sense to you. Think about it. In most of our Hindi films and all, or the Indian films, you will find that the child is growing up very nicely and the mother and the father are taking care. And many years later, the real mother turns up over there. Mera beta, she will say. What mera beta? Then who was that woman taking care of him? Oh, she found that child somewhere. This is our story also. Have you not seen this whole Mahabharata is full of this kind of nonsense? Somebody finds somebody's child somewhere. right? You will find that Karna is there, he is like that. How many stories are there like that? And Nakul Sahadev's story also is different. So if that is the case, where is the concept of mother, father, brother, sister, husband, wife? Where is the concept? So when you understand this, that nobody can kill you and nobody gets killed, which is what Krishna is saying, he is talking about the soul. You are the soul, you are not the body. Please leave this from your mind. Why do you have to do this? So that you can go towards enlightenment. Okay, I will be talking about enlightenment soon, so let us hear about it. Alright, later on. Now we are doing verse 22. As the man shedding worn out garments takes a new one, likewise the embodied soul casting off worn out bodies enters into others that are new. Here he is again giving an in-depth explanation. Every day you wear different clothes, correct? And when the clothes get worn out, what do? You throw them away. You buy new ones. Then you throw them away. Then you buy new ones. Throw them away means maybe you give to charity or maybe you just chuck it in the dustbin. I don't know. Whatever you do with your clothes. It's the same thing with the body. The body gets worn out when you become old. Okay? When there is a young person, the body is well fit and fine and all that. As you become older, your body gets worn out. It becomes totally bereft of, all your muscle structure goes away, the way you can't walk, so many things happen, blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, this, that. How many things happen? Many things happen to the body. You get worn out. So this is how everybody gets worn out. So likewise the body is like a garment. We are taking it on, it gets worn out, we chuck it, we then take a new garment, wear that, chuck it again. Now today you are wearing a garment which is of a one brand. Okay? Tomorrow you will wear of some other brand. Agreed or no? So today it is one brand, tomorrow it is another brand, then it is another brand. And if somebody asks you, oh, where did you buy this from and where is this dress coming from? Are you not going to say something? You are going to say something. Maybe you are wearing a t-shirt. The t-shirt is Adidas or Levi's or something like this. Some brand is there. So you will say the t-shirt is Levi's or Adidas or Nike or something like that. Tomorrow you may wear a shirt which is of some other brand. Like that, you are taking the name. Your name today is some XYZ. You have your body as a name, correct? So the name is of the body, not of you. You are a soul. You are eternal. How can you have a name? You are a nameless person. If you have a name, then you are, along with the name, everything else comes, isn't it? Without passport also you can't go anywhere. Without official documentation also you can't go anywhere. But if you are a nameless person, just imagine standing in front of the passport officer and say, what is your name? No name. Where do you stay? I don't stay here. So where do you stay? Nowhere. If everything, the answer is going to be like this, that fellow is going to get very upset with you. So your body has a name. See, the funniest thing which happened to me many years ago was this. This is exactly what happened to me. When people, when I woke up from my dead and when I sat up in the bed, I did not know who I was. So I just kept on looking around. There is a wife over there. There is a hospital over there. There are doctors running. There are nurses going all over the town. And they were looking at me. I got up and I said, I am very hungry. Give me something to eat. Those women and the doctors are all got so upset. He's just woke up from, my full body had got poisoned with something. And I was literally dead. And here he is waking up and saying, I want to eat something. For them it was very strange. Reluctantly they gave me little bit of juice, some juice they gave me. Okay, some pomegranate juice or something like that. And I was so angry with that nurse. He said, you think this is going to fill my stomach or what? And then later on when I came out of the hospital, I had no idea who I was. Okay. So when people asked me this question, who are you? I mean, naturally the body had a name. All right. So I started saying, I am nobody. See the answer. I am nobody. Because all this knowledge came to me. I am nobody. Where did you come from? I was always there. What are you saying? This is your family, this is your house, these are your children, this is your... No, nothing belongs to me. So, very funnily, this question came up, and finally, in frustration, I had to tell them the answer. You know what is the answer I said? Only God knows who I am. Only God knows who I am. If God knows who I am is the answer, so I just changed it to Krishna knows. Only Krishna knows who I am. And from that day onwards, my name stuck as Krishna knows. Nobody knows. So the answer to your question is, if you are that Jivatma, that soul, the super soul which is never born, you never die, then you are nobody. No body also. And that is why my name is Krishna knows. Only God knows. Got the answer? That is why it was very strange for them to accept it. Later on, people started calling me Krishna Guruji, Krishna Ji and all that. They called me because maybe they found it very difficult. God knows is not a good name, Krishna knows is not a good name. So let us call them Krishna Ji or Krishna Guruji. Okay. I said, fine, whatever you call me, I accept it. This is how it happens. So please understand, you can give up these garments, the worn out garments, which is your body, and you take a new one. And you get embodied. Embodied means you got put in that bottle. There is a bottle and you get put inside this bottle. There is water inside this bottle. Can the water say that I am the bottle? No, I can't say, no, because this water, I will drink it and later on I'll put more water in it. So how can that water have a name? It is water, water, water only. Huh? And I take it from the tap just now, wherever I take it from, and then I drink it, and then they take another bottle, and then I drink that, and they take another one. Can that bottle, that water, first time which I took, can it say I am still the second one and the third one? Can't say any of these things, no? And where it went also, nobody knows. It went out of the body. So when the water went out of the body, what it became, nobody knows. End of the day, it is still water. Got the point? So in the end of the day, you may take up n number of bodies. N number of bodies. You can be whatever. You can be, a peacock today. Tomorrow you can be a lion. The day after tomorrow you can be, a kachua, a tortoise. Or you can be a human being. We don't know that. You can be anything. And you can be stone also. Now, people will say, but stone doesn't have a soul. Really? Who told you that? Stone doesn't have a soul. You worship stone only, no? Or no? All your gods are made of stone only, no? And you worship them. And on top of it, don't you know the story of Ahalya? Ahalya became a stone. So then what makes you think you cannot be a stone? You can be a tree also. A tree? How can I be a tree? Do you remember the two palm trees which were there, which were kicked when Shri Krishna was moving? Did he throw those two palm trees away or no? From that two people came, no or no? Now I know. See, the idea that you can be anything. You can be a planet also. I can be a planet. Yeah. Dhruva Tara. Do you remember Dhruva Tara, pole star? So Pole star Dhruv Bal became pole star. So why do you think that you can't be anything? So please remember this. Don't restrict yourself that I am going to be born as a human being. A Chandra is a moon, is also a heavenly body. A Surya Devata is also that burning body over there. Agreed? So don't restrict yourself that I am going to be born as a human being. That is why you can take up any body. Body can be of any kind. So always remember this. Don't put restrictions on yourself. I hope you remember. You can become a blood drop also. A drop of blood also. Do you remember Kalima and her enemy? Huh? Every time when drop of blood falls down, one new Rakshasa comes up. Okay. And you've seen Jurassic Park also. Okay. From that one drop of DNA, they create an entire creature. So don't be under the impression that you cannot be that. You can be a physical body, and you can be a subtle body also. How is it a subtle body? You know, ghosts are there. Of course there are ghosts. You think you can see them? No. Vayu is there. Vayu is subtle only, no? Huh? The space is there. Everything can be subtle. It can be having physical body. It can have gross body. So never keep that thing in mind that I am only going to be born as a human being. I hope you got this clear. So weapons cannot cut it, nor fire can burn it, water cannot wet it, nor can wind dry it. I just now gave you this answer that nothing can change the person, nothing can destroy that soul. Nothing can destroy the soul. Nothing. For the soul is incapable of being cut or burned by fire, nor it can be dissolved by water and is undryable by air as well. The soul is eternal, all-pervading, immovable, constant and primeval. So it is always there. It can go inside and outside also. You will say, how can a soul go inside? Of course it can go inside. Just now, how many examples I gave you? Air can be anywhere, no? Can go anywhere on earth. Now space, where can it go? Can you remove the space? You can't remove the space. Likewise, we call it as an ether also. You can't remove it. Got the answer? Sun can become sun rays also. Sun rays can be reflected on a surface like moon is reflecting the sun rays. Anything is possible. Anything and everything can be possible. Please remember this. That is why, can you catch your soul? See, now after explaining all this to you, do you think you can hold your soul like this? No. It cannot be. So here he says this, the soul is unmanifest. It is incomprehensible. It is spoken of as immutable. Therefore, knowing it as such, you should not grieve. Simple explanation. What does he say? It is unmanifest. What is the meaning of unmanifest? This is a word which you need to know and understand. Manifest. Unmanifest. Unmanifest means it doesn't have shape, size or anything. With your senses you cannot understand it. So is there a soul over here just now? I don't know. Can I see it? No. Is there soul over here? No. Is there soul anywhere? Can I see it? No. Can I understand it? No. So if I have, for everything I have no as the answer, I have no clue it is there or not there. Got the answer? Because none of my senses are working. I can't kick it also. I can't touch it also. Nothing is possible. So that existence, it is there, but I cannot understand it, becomes very valid. Now, I told you soul is equal to super soul or Paramatma. Soul means Paramatma also. Can I see Paramatma? Can I see him anywhere? Can I touch him? I can't understand whether he is there or not there also. My mind will not be able to grasp it. This intellect of mine will be able to not even hold it for even a moment. I have no clue it exists or it doesn't exist. So where is God? Can I say this word, the God is here? I can't say that word because frankly speaking, I don't know his existence. And that is what he is saying. The soul is unmanifest, incomprehensible. I cannot understand. Comprehend means understand. Okay? Comes from a word comprendre. Comprendre is a French word. French. Now, comprendre means understand. Ununderstandable. I can't even understand it. Nothing in my brain works. Even the memory is not going to work. Even intellect is not working. Even my physical body doesn't understand. This soul, this great thing called God, is there or not there. I don't know. So, it is incomprehensible, but it is spoken of as immutable. Mutation you have heard of, no? Our great friend Charles Darwin gave the theory of mutation. Mutation means what? Cells mutate. They change. Bodies can change. What can change? Bodies can change. Soul cannot change. Soul is the soul is the soul is the soul. There is no way of changing it. Now think about it. If soul is the same, then what is it that is mutating? Body is mutating. Today you have a woman's body, tomorrow you may have a man's body, after that you may have a bird's body also. Can mutate, isn't it? It can change. Bodies can change. Today I have glass bottle. Coke used to come earlier in a glass bottle, correct? Huh? After that it came in a can, Tetra Pak, and then now it will be in a plastic bottle or something like that. So it can mutate, no? Same Coke can come in so many containers. Who says you can't? And then you have it on tap also. You can put it in a glass also. Everything is possible. So the container can mutate, not the soul. The soul is immutable. That is why he says it is immutable. Therefore, knowing it as such, you should not grieve. So if you know that the soul cannot mutate, you cannot understand, you cannot know it, why are you crying for it? I'm going to kill this one, this fellow is going to die, that fellow is going to die, this fellow is like this is my mother, this is my father. Why are you talking like that? Don't. And Arjuna, if you should suppose the soul is subject to constant birth and death, even then you should not grieve like this. So now if you think, your great mind says, oh, people are born, people die. Why are you bothered? You got the point or no? Think about it. If Sri Ram has to bother about Ravana getting killed, how is that okay? It's not okay, no? Huh? And imagine if Arjuna is not going to kill his cousin, who? Duryodhana and Dushyasan. If he doesn't kill them, then what happens? So the idea should be that why do I need to bother so much about things happening and not happening? In our life, we are so much bothered about things happening and not happening, isn't it? Is anything in your hands, by the way? You don't even know whether the next breath you are going to be alive or dead. And you are so much bothered about, suppose your children, your house, your family, your mother, your father, your husband. Why are you bothered so much? The moment you are dead, finish, your switch is off, no? How are you going to be bothered about them? You can't say this is my mother. Just imagine. I want you to imagine this for a moment. Just now, your father and mother are there. You're talking to them nicely. Everything you're talking. Maybe you're fighting with them and maybe you're talking about something, very nicely. In love, you're talking to them, or maybe in hatred. Why did you give the property to my brother? All that kind of thing you are doing. And suddenly your mother or father dies. Okay? Till that moment in time, you were fighting with that person. Suddenly the person is dead, or you were so much in love with your mother and father that you were, giving them food and this and that. And they are dead now, lying on the bed. The body is lying on the bed. Okay? Now, the room is empty. 6 hours have gone by. 6-7 hours. The body is lying over there. Do you have the guts to go and sit near the body? You know, you're going to be scared like nobody's business. I don't want to sit near them because that's a dead body. Bhoot, Pret, Pishach, all these things are there. The same body that you loved so much is now lying dead over there, and you don't even want to touch it, you don't want to kiss it, you don't want to do anything with it. You discard the body. And what are you saying that I love this person? It happens to the nearest and the dearest ones, your wife, your husband or whoever. Till the person is alive, you are very much in love with that person. The moment the person dies, it becomes a dead body. You don't even want to sleep next to it. Forget about sleeping, you don't want to touch it also, you are afraid. The person stands up like this. Kya kar rahe ho? You know, you are going to have a very big heart attack. This is something dangerous. You will not want to go there also. And what is this? You are having this, this thing. Oh, this is my relative. Why bother so much? That is what he is saying. Shri Krishna is telling Arjuna this. Don't bother so much if the person is dead or alive. Alright, so we will do the last verse now, 27. For in that case, death is certain to be born, and rebirth is inevitable for the dead. You should not therefore grieve over the inevitable. So every person, this is a philosophy which you have to accept. In our world of Hinduism, we say that a person is born and a person dies, is taking a new rebirth somewhere, is born again, he dies again, is born again, he dies again, is born again, he dies again. Okay? Every time this happens. You cannot have any specific relationship with anybody. You may or may not agree with me just now. Maybe during the times of Ramayana, you were a part of the Vanar Sena. I want you to think like this. You are a part of the Vanar Sena. Who was your husband or who was your wife? A Vanara. You are not going to have a human being as a husband, ma. Okay, that kind of thing doesn't work. Alright? Not cross-pollination in some other place. No, your husband is going to be Vanara only. So today if you are thinking your husband is a Vanara, how is it okay? He's a monkey, huh? No. So common sense will tell you, every birth, if you take a new birth, maybe some life of yours, you are the Queen of England or King of England. We don't know. In some life, you could be a slave in some country. Huh? Today your skin might be brown color. Yesterday the skin was black color. And then you say, how is that possible? Yeah. Maybe you had a person from Africa as your husband. Who knows that? I'm saying husband. Maybe it's a wife of yours. Who knows? We don't know, na? Whether you are a male or a female also. How do you know? And that is why he says, in that case, death is certain. 100% you are going to die. 100% you are going to be reborn. Don't be under this impression that you are going to be there forever. Nobody is there forever. And today you might become an archaeologist. You know archaeologist? Huh? Today you are going to become an archaeologist and you are going to Egypt and you are going to dig up all those ruins over there, and maybe you open one pyramid and you see the body of a person over there. And if I were to tell you that is your body, you are an Egyptian, dance like an Egyptian, and you are going to get so upset with it. That's my body. No, that cannot be me. But it could be you, no? So this idea that you have this body doesn't make any sense to you. So he says, you should not grieve over this inevitable. This is called inevitable thing. So stop grieving over it. Who is telling whom? Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna, stop this nonsense of grieving over somebody's death and somebody is born, because you could be born as anything, you could be dead at any time. Nothing makes sense over here. Remember that one thing in mind, you are that soul. And soul doesn't have any characteristics, neither male nor female, neither human nor animal. It doesn't have shape, it doesn't have body, it doesn't have anything. It is unmanifest, and that is what you are. So we have come to the end of verse, I think 27. We will stop over here today.